Good evening. Edinburgh's Hogman celebrations have been cancelled due to concerns over extreme weather. It comes as a warning for heavy rain has been upgraded to amber in parts of the country for tonight into tomorrow. Well, our correspondent Lisa Summers is in Edinburgh Forest tonight. And Lisa, not the news anyone was hoping for.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is a huge event, not just for Edinburgh, but for Scotland. People come from right over the world to bring in the new year in the capital. And actually, even up to lunchtime today, there were still preparations going underway in Princes Street Gardens in anticipation of an event that was due to take place this evening. We should have had 45,000 people in Princes Street for the street party, people gathering in Princes Street Gardens to see Texas bring in the new year. And a big fireworks display had been planned at Edinburgh Castle. You have to go back almost 20 years for the last time that Edinburgh's Hogman was cancelled due to adverse weather, but late this afternoon organisers said that they had no choice but to cancel the event.
Yeah, we're deeply disappointed to make the decision. It's not something that we take lightly, but again, the weather that we've experienced over the last 48 hours and are expected to experience in the next 24 hours just meant we weren't able to build the infrastructure both for the performances and also the safety infrastructure to keep 50,000 people safe in the city centre.
Well, you can see that the weather is turning pretty nasty already in Edinburgh. Most of Scotland has a yellow weather warning for wind and rain for all of tomorrow and into the new year. But that was upgraded in some parts of Scotland to an amber warning between Fort William and Inverness. We've already seen some disruption on the rail network, and Transport Scotland say we can expect more of that tomorrow, and also to be prepared for some disruption on the roads.
OK, Lisa in Edinburgh, thank you. Caledon's new Caledonian Ferry, the dual-fuel MV Glensannox, has a bigger carbon footprint than the diesel vessel that usually serves the route. That's according to an official emissions report prepared by the ferry operator. The Glensannox is due to enter service on the 13th of January, 6 years late and hundreds of millions of pounds over budget. Here's our transport correspondent David Henderson.
The MV Glensannox conducting sea trials off Scotland's west coast. In just a couple of weeks' time, this ferry will carry passengers for Caledon to and from Arran. But its environmental benefits appear to be limited. Caledon's own study of the vessel's emissions, seen by Reporting Scotland, show it'll produce 1/3 more carbon dioxide each year than the ageing vessel it's designed to replace, the MV Caledonian Isles.
This is a finding which is consistent with many other studies. LNG as a marine fuel is not a fuel that benefits from a greenhouse gas emissions perspective. It has some benefits from an air pollutant perspective, which is important for health impacts, but it doesn't have any advantage from a climate perspective.
The Glensannox is powered by two types of fuel, liquefied natural gas, or LNG, as well as diesel.
The whole decision-making around LNG was made completely in the blind, without any kind of objective justification, it seems. And the outcome, all these years later is this, hundreds of millions of pounds of what seems to be, a very expensive mistake.
The ferries agency CMAL said any comparison with an older diesel vessel was inaccurate, as Glensannox is larger. CalMac say the ferry's extra power will mean more resilience against adverse weather. The Glensannox is due to enter service in 2 weeks' time. David Henderson, Reporting Scotland.
Police have launched an investigation into the use of pyrotechnics and objects thrown from the crowd during yesterday's match between Dundee United and Aberdeen at Tannadice. Flares were lit before the game kicked off, and United manager Jim Goodwin claimed afterwards that Aberdeen supporters had thrown coins and a bottle of vodka at him as the home side celebrated a 1-0 victory. The SPFL have condemned the behaviour and are calling for criminal charges. Now, it's 40 years since the first baby was born through IVF carried out in Scotland. The assisted conception unit at Ninewells Hospital in Dundee was the first to offer the treatment to couples struggling to conceive. Hope Webb reports.
Inside this lab at Ninewells Hospital, around 7,000 embryos are currently being stored. Embryologists here at the assisted conception unit have been helping couples start a family since 1984, 40 years ago. Maureen is the longest working member of staff. She's helped bring more than 10,000 babies into the world during her career.
When the unit opened, we were seeing patients in a corridor to give them their appointments. Nothing was private. You were scanning patients behind curtains. Now this is just such a specialised unit.
Technology here and across the country has advanced significantly in the last 40 years. Trials are even now taking place to look at how AI could help staff identify eggs suitable for fertilisation.
There's been so many fundamental changes over time. As our knowledge has grown, our success rates are much better than they ever used to be. The harsh reality is the cycle of treatment is likely to be somewhere between 30 and 35% successful in terms of having a baby. So it's still imperfect and we've still got a long way to go.
This year, in the unit's 40th year, over 100 babies have been born thanks to treatment. 8-month-old Gia is one of them. Kirsty and her husband underwent IVF at 9 Wells after being diagnosed with unexplained infertility.
Yeah, it's a long, hard journey of waiting and disappointment and heartache, but it's worth it. If it wasn't for IVF, then we wouldn't be sat here with her today. We wouldn't be given the opportunity to be parents.
Kirsty's now set up a support group in her local area of Kerrymuir for other women experiencing infertility. But she has one message for the staff at the assisted conception unit as they celebrate their 40th birthday.
There's not even enough words to express how grateful we are that you've changed our lives forever, and just thank you for everything that you do.
Web reporting there. OK, let's get the full weather forecast now with Gillian. It's not looking great, is it?
It's not, Laura. Let's get straight to those weather warnings. We have a yellow warning of rain and snow for northern Scotland, still valid right through until the end of tomorrow. But from midnight tonight, you can add on that higher tier amber warning. Here, we could see flooding to roads and even to properties. Really poor conditions with rain piling in tonight, falling as snow for a spell over the Highlands and the northeast, turning back to rain. The snow pushing north into the Northern Isles and winds strengthening to gale force around the coasts and over the Isles. Into tomorrow, a yellow warning for that snow over the Northern Isles and a warning for high winds for the Central Belt and for southern Scotland. Gusts 60 miles an hour, perhaps a wee bit more. Very wet and windy start to Hogmanay. The bulk of the heavy rain clears for the afternoon, but plenty of showers follow. Could be the odd rumble of thunder and snow lingering in Shetland well into the afternoon. Now, through the evening towards the Bells, some clearer conditions for central and southern Scotland, but we'll see plenty wintry showers feeding into the north, and from the Bells onwards, a yellow warning of snow and ice from the Met Office for northern Scotland that's valid throughout New Year's Day. Stay tuned to the forecast.
Yeah, one to stay indoors for, I think, this year. Thanks,
so.
Gillian. And that is it for now. I will be back with the late news around 10:20 tonight. Join me then if you can. In the meantime, from all of us here, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.